So, do you remember Labor Day 2021, that whole roadside shooting involving Alex Murdaugh? He, called 911. I've been shot in the head. I was fixing my flat tire and some car just drove by me and shot me in the head. If you don't remember it, well, I'm here for you. Here is the 911 call that he made.
I got a flat tire, and I stopped, and somebody stopped to help me. And when I turned my back, they tried to shoot me.
Oh, okay. Were you shot?
Yes, but I mean, I'm okay.
Can you give me a description of the person that shot you or shot at you?
A white fella.
A white male?
A fair amount younger than me. Really, really short hair.
I don't know about you, but every time I get shot in the head, I am not that lucid. I like the 911 operator who says, oh, okay. So I'm not the only one who thinks this way, because there were people who drove by that ridiculous scene and they smelled a rat because they called 911. And would you like to hear the description that they gave to 911 of what they were driving by? I thought you might, so have a listen.
A man on the side of the road with blood all over him, and he's waving his hands. He looks fine, but it kind of looks like a setup, so we didn't stop.
Right. They didn't stop. And then the 911 operator said, oh, that's a good idea. That's smart that you didn't, They said they looked like a setup. They said it looked like a setup. Those were their words. It looked like a setup. Turns out it was. And there were so many stories that followed. Alec first said, well, first he said, someone tried to shoot me. Then he said, okay, I actually called my cousin Eddie to come out and shoot me in the head to kill me so that my son Buster could get $10 million in life insurance. Because I just feel so bad about the deaths of my wife and my son. I thought I'd kill myself to, let Buster really have a crappy life with $10 million. Well, then the prosecutor said that was not at all what really happened. Prosecutor said, no, what you were trying to do was make it look like there's someone out there shooting Murdaughs, right? Paul and Maggie got it first, and then you were going to get it next. But what's the whole Cousin Eddie business? What's that part of it? Because he's been in the clink ever since. And I am so thrilled to be joined by his attorney, Aimee Zmroczek. She's a criminal defense attorney. She's been representing Curtis Eddie Smith. She's been on this program before. She is a friend of the program. I keep asking the question, Aimee, is he going to take the stand? He did not in the case in chief. Is he going to take the stand in the defense case?
Actually, you and I ask the same questions every day. I used to say if I had a quarter, if I had a penny every time I've been asked that question, I wouldn't have to take any more cases for quite some time.
But doesn't there have to be some planning involved? I mean, where is he being housed? Is he just a hop skip from the courthouse? Like if they just decide, boom, to call him, he's ready to go? Because he's incarcerated.
He is actually in protective custody in Lexington County Detention Center, which is about an hour and a half from Walterboro, from where he is now. And one thing I wanted to say, Ashleigh, I was just watching right before I came on, and your last guest said, oh, he was hired. He hired Cousin Eddie, or Cousin Eddie was paid. None of those are true. He was not ever hired. He was not ever paid anything. Eddie was simply responding to a call because he thought Alec needed help. And obviously it changes when they get out to the side of the road. So I just keep wanting to, I know there's so much misinformation out there, but that's really important, I think, because, there was no payment, so, Aimee, there was no hiring.
How about, because lots of checks went back and forth, right? Like lots of checks went from Murdaugh to your client, tens of thousands, millions of dollars. And so what about the drug connection between them? Was he paid in drugs? What was the drug connection between them?
So obviously those are still pending charges. I'm limited on what I can say to that. But what I can tell you is if everybody wants to call Eddie Smith a drug dealer, worst drug dealer in the history, because he had one client, and that client was Alex Murdaugh.
Was Eddie ever offered immunity for any kind of testimony with regard to this double murder case?
Absolutely not. No, he was not. And he was prepared and is prepared. They still may call him in rebuttal. And he's still under the state subpoena. He has not been subpoenaed by the defense. So I find it interesting that, Dick welcomes the chance to cross-examine him or to get him on the stand. Guys, but sorry, my dogs are decide to play right now.
That's
but-
okay. You should have seen what kind of day I've had on the air. I just choked and had to show everybody my root beer, which I've never done.
I thought it was
Aimee,
bourbon. I was hoping.
Well, you know, it does look like bourbon, but that would make me choke more. Aimee, I still, like, how much time do you have to be notified? Like, when are we going to know if your client's going to get on the stand in this double murder case? Because it's an hour and a half away. It doesn't just happen. There has to be advance notification. Are you the one who's going to get it? And if you do, how long in advance will you get it?
Well, yeah, I better be the one to get it. I certainly have to be there when he testifies. And starting tomorrow morning, I'm picking a jury in Richland County, which is the county adjacent to Lexington, and also about an hour and a half north of Walterboro. So there are, you know, my trial would have to get put on hold for a bit. So, I mean, professional courtesy would hope that I would have at least 24 hours notice to let the judge know, to let my jury know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. The wheels have to be put in motion. Moving inmates around and moving court appearances around it's not easy. But you will join us if it happens and let us know all about it that day, right?
I absolutely will. There's an interesting issue, Ashleigh, as well. The courthouse in Walterboro only has one holding cell, and certainly we can't put Alex and my client in the same holding cell. So it's another twist in the Murdaugh bingo card.
Wow. That's a big logistical twist. Thank you for telling me that. Okay. Well, I wonder how they'd work that out. I don't know how they'd ever have how do they ever have a defendant who's not had bail and has a jailhouse snitch come in? I mean, okay, well, we're going to have another conversation. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.